Shalom, shalom. I do want to start off this lesson by saying all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakwadash, for giving the opportunity to do a lesson today. I do want to give double honor to the elders and apostle, Great Millstone, for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. My name is Ariel Kayal, coming back with another lesson, and today is basically a prophecy video about spiritual powers. And the reason why I want to get into the topic of spiritual powers is because when I was at work, I was just meditating about anime. I love me some anime. I love watching anime, shows and stuff like that, and I love running outside too. But it started made me wondering about like running freely and having spiritual powers and how you flying around, destroying stuff, looking like the act, being like the anime characters, looking cool. But but at the end of the day, I was thinking of how cool it would be to have spiritual powers, and the thought came in my head saying that that's gonna happen in the future. That's gonna happen very soon, where a lot of brothers that's in the truth are going to receive spiritual powers, are going to have spiritual natural abilities that's not known on Earth, that's not known on as a something that obeys the laws of physics. All right, because Yahweh Shema Shai is going to end up lifting up a standard in the days we're about to get into to protect the men of the Lord. Because Esau Edom is going to come down great wrath. We're into a time where Esau Edom is setting up a lot of things. All right, it seems like another lockdown is about to come to pass. It seems like we're about to enter War 3. All right, they're going to about to do a lockdown. They're gonna take everything more seriously. They're about to take everything digital, and they're gonna persecute the men of the Lord. And some of them is gonna ask for spiritual powers, and they're going to fight back. Yeah, how about Shema Shai is going to fight back, and he's gonna give the man to fight back. All right, and that's with what? With spiritual powers. You're going to see prophets, men of the Lord, with spiritual powers, with basically powers, supernatural powers, flying. Some brothers might have super strength, speed. You know, we're gonna see that very soon, and that's actually a prophecy. It sounds crazy to you people out there, as in the world, because you have no faith, but this is true. This is what's going to happen. It's not if it's gonna. It's this is what's going to happen. And first scripture I want to grab is Isaiah 59 verse 19. So shall they fear the name of the Lord from the west, and his glory from the rising of the sun. When the enemy shall come in like a flood, the spirit of the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashim Shai, shall lift up a standard against him. Against who? Against our enemies. Who's our enemy? Esau Edom. All right, Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna lift up a standard against our enemy in those days, because he's gonna end up trying to persecute Jake. First and foremost, the elect. First and foremost, the men of the Lord, the prophets. He's gonna try to persecute them to get rid of them, because we're basically his enemies. We're the one in the highways and byways basically preaching about his downfall, preaching about his abominable works, or telling everybody his secrets. You know, we're the ones who's doing it, nobody else. So he's losing the power, and he gotta cut the source that's losing it. Ultimately, it's Yahweh Shema Shah. It's not really us that's making his power go down, but he's a carnal man. He doesn't believe in spiritual things, so he's gonna come after them and the Lord to do so. Henceforth, why Yahweh Shema Shai is going to lift up a standard and and be a protector to these men of the Lord, to protect them in the days we're about to get into, because it's about to be hectic times. It's basically about to be crazy times, times of something that you have never seen before. All right, that's why I said the Lord shall lift up a standard, or a standard to fight against them. And Esau Edom, this man has power. This man has guns, tanks, snipers, vests. All right, these are men of hunters. They love to hunt. And you think a regular Jake is gonna win? No. Jake is not gonna win that fight against an Edomite that's damn near decked out with weapons, about to knock on our door and say, "Hey, buddy, I heard you was talking shit about America." You know that type of energy. Who's gonna win that? Nobody is. That's why Yahweh Shema Shai is gonna lift up a standard, and some brothers out there are gonna be having spiritual powers. You're going to see some brothers out there flying, destroying things. You're gonna see it in the news. Breaking news, breaking news. An African American man is beating the crap out of 10 cops, soloing the whole squad, killing, committing atrocities. They're gonna see that as supernatural. Like, how is he able to do that? Some of them's gonna say it's AI. Some of them's gonna say it's not real. But it's gonna be prophecy. A lot of people believe back in the days that UFOs wasn't real. Come to find out, UFOs are real. A lot of people didn't believe that America would go down. Come to find out, we're in a time where America is basically going down. Some people didn't believe that Israel was going to cause America to enter World War III. Well, look, it came to find out what Israel was the reason why America went to War 3. So it seems far fetched right now because it seems impossible. Because it seems like it's impossible. But what happened? The prophecies came to life. So how much more for this prophecy? You think you think every word is gonna slack? No, Yahweh Bashar Shah is gonna make sure every word does not slack. Every word does not not perform. It's going to perform, and you're gonna know that it's real. I believe in the book Ezekiel says that. Hold on. Ezekiel. Um, did I say did I spelled it wrong? Ezekiel 12 verse. I'll go to 26. All right. Yeah, let's start at verse 26 says this. Again, the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, behold, they are the house of Israel say the vision that he seeth is for many days to come, and he prophesied of the times that are far off. Therefore say unto them, Thus said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, there shall none of my words be prolonged any more, but which the words I have spoken shall be done, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. And all these prophecies that's written in the book are spoken of the Lord from the Lord Yahweh Shemashai through the Spirit. So everything that he's spoken is going to come to pass. It's not like it's not. It's going to come to pass. That's what he said. That is what Yahweh Bashimashai said. And is he gonna turn back from that? No. Yahweh Bashimashai is not a author. Is not a liar. God forbid. Let's get that real quick. Romans chapter verse 3. It says what? For what some did not believe, shall their unbelief make the faith of Yahweh Shemashai without effect? God forbid. Yet let Yahweh Shemashai be true, but every man a liar, as is written, thou mightest be justified in thy saying, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So Yahweh Shemashai is not a liar. Does your unbelief is not going to make an effect? No. People didn't believe War 3 is going to happen. War 3 happened. That's like a pure evidence of showing you that it doesn't matter what you believe in. If you don't believe, this is what's going to happen. All right, the Bible is is like a manga, and we're the anime characters, and we're living it out. You know how you see an Arthur with the manga book, you read the manga book, and you reach it, and you watch the anime. The anime copies what the manga shows. That's basically what's happening. You're reading the Bible, you're reading the story, what's going to happen, and we're living it. That's it, and you can't change it. You know, and when you do change it, what happens? Everything gets destroyed. So, but it's never going to change because Yahweh Shemashai is not a liar. So let me grab the book of Jeremiah because that's on chapter I want to grab. Jeremiah chapter 50, verse 20, no, 51, verse 25 or 20. It says, This thou art my battle axe and a weapon of war, for with thee will I break in pieces of nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. Hold on real quick. Let me go to verse 19. So Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 19. The portion of Jacob, Yasharallah, the prince of the powers, or Jacob is not like them, for he is the form of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. The Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. Thou art my battle axe. So if you go to verse 20, you will know what Yahweh Shemashai is talking about. It's talking about what? Israel. If you read verse 19, it's talking about Israel. So you go to 20, you can tell the context to talk about who? Israel. Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latino Native Americans. Thou art my battle axe, a weapon of war. For with thee will I break in pieces of nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms. So with Israel, he's going to destroy nations and kingdoms. He's going to put them down. And all these nations got weaponry of war. They got weapons. They got AKMs. They got QBZs. They got Abram tanks. They got AWMs, Car 98s, or M24s. They got M416s. They got the um QBZ. I said QBZ already. Machine guns or missiles. So how is Yahweh Shemashah gonna use us against other with spiritual powers? Like I said, you're gonna see in the news that Jake gonna have spiritual powers. Just like how it's gonna be, you're gonna have spiritual powers in America happening here and there, people healing people. But as soon as America be destroyed and the elect be beamed up and they come back again to take the other nation down, they're gonna be flying. You're gonna see that. There's gonna still gonna be America's gonna be destroyed. Doesn't mean internet's gonna be out for the whole world. The whole world's gonna still have internet. They're gonna see videos of Jake destroying other nations. It's not you will see it in your time. That's what's going to happen. All right, the whole world is gonna know what's happening. They're gonna know that a new rulership came to Earth. They're gonna know. They're going to know. Thou art my battle axe and weapon of war, for with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces a horse and his rider, and with thee will I break in pieces a chariot and his rider. That's spiritual powers. With thee also are breaking pieces of man and woman. With thee are breaking pieces old and young. With thee are breaking pieces young man and maid and the maid. And I'll also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captain and rulers. And I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion and your sight, said the Lord Yahweh Shemashai. So in your sight, in first and foremost, who is he going to deliver in the end times of America? The elect, the 144,000. So he's going to do it through the elect eyes that they will see that they're going to take down their enemies. And since their enemies have these high weapons, how can you fight that off? With spiritual powers. That's it. It's not hard to understand, to be honest with you. It's actually kind of easy. Slovakia. But that's how it's gonna be. You're going to see brothers with spiritual powers. You're going to see people, Jake, Israel, so-called Negroes like 200 Americans, take it down to other nations. And with what? With spiritual powers. And when Jacob trouble happens, when Esau Edom comes down great wrath, because that is another prophecy. Let's grab that, Revelation 12:12. Esau's gonna come down great wrath, he's gonna come down because he knows they have but a short time. The East, we gotta protect ourselves. Now there is gonna be some Israelite men, Israelite Jake, that's gonna be a martyr, a prophet that's gonna be a martyr among Israel for prophecy's sake, but some are not. And some's gonna be protected. Just gotta have faith to be protected. All right, but if you hold on down to the faith, what's gonna happen? You're gonna be crowned with the crown of life. You're gonna be basically crowned, be the elect. But everybody else, you know, that didn't got beheaded, you just gotta have faith, and Yahweh Shemashah will protect you. Some might not have spiritual power. Some will. I'm just saying, you will see Jake and Jacob trouble with spiritual powers. Some of them will have spiritual powers. And then over time, when the elect get beamed up and America be destroyed and they come back down, all the elect gonna have spiritual powers. Every single last one, all the 1/3, because they're gonna get translated to a new body. So it's gonna be you know, it's gonna be a crazy time everybody enter into. Because as soon as Esau falls, who's gonna rise back? Who's gonna rise up? Jacob, Israel, so-called Negroes like 200 Americans, first and foremost, the elect. Or therefore rejoice ye heavens, ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil has come down unto you having great wrath, because you know if you have but a short time. So how are we going to fight that off? By with spiritual powers. But that's all I want to get into today. Who's edified by this lesson. I do want to give all praises to Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shai by Shemer Kakodach for giving the opportunity to do a lesson today. I do want to give double honors to the elders and apostle Great Millstone for teaching the truth by using precept upon precepts and line upon line. Shalom.